What happened while we were away brought to you by the ratio of questions to answers is way out of whack. Yesterday, we mentioned that 10-hour surveillance video the Department of Justice released, purportedly proving that no one entered the cell area where Jeffrey Epstein allegedly killed himself. Well, there's a problem with that. There's an entire minute missing from the footage from 11:59 p.m. to midnight on August 9th of 2019. Secondly, as our own Jason Buttrill noted, the view of the surveillance footage doesn't even include Epstein's cell based on findings from a report from the Office of the Inspector General. Nevertheless, at the White House yesterday, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says they're basically considering this case closed.
The Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
Last week in Iowa, President Trump raised eyebrows when he said this.
And we're working on legislation right now. Susie, right? We're working on legislation right now where farmers, look, they know better. They work with them for years. You had cases where, not here, but just even over the years, where people have worked for a farm on a farm for 14, 15 years, and they get thrown out pretty viciously, and we can't do it. We got to work with the farmers and people that have hotels and leisure properties too. We're going to work with them, and we're going to work very strong and smart, and we're going to put you in charge. We're going to make you responsible. And I think that that's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, serious radical right people, who I also happen to like a lot, they may not be quite as happy, but they'll understand.
Since then, there have been whispers of a silent pressure campaign in D.C. to push Trump into doing amnesty for illegals in the ag and hospitality industries. But Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins says this morning,
I can't underscore enough. There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly.
Yesterday in Los Angeles, large-scale ICE raids attracted the attention of Mayor Karen Bass, who showed up to gum up the works.
My comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now.
U.S. Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino says,
the federal government is not leaving L.A. I don't work for Karen Bass. The federal government doesn't work for Karen Bass. We're going to be here till that mission's accomplished, as I said, and better get used to us now, because this is going to be normal very soon.
A federal judge in Massachusetts has attempted to block the part of the One Big Beautiful Bill that was passed just last week, which defunds Planned Parenthood for a year. District Judge Indira Talwani said in her temporary restraining order, quote, looks like I'm God and Queen now, suck on D. The baby murder will continue, end quote. Pop culture world is abuzz over the release of Superman later this week. Actor and producer Sean Gunn, brother of Superman director James Gunn, is making some people nervous about the wokeness of the movie with comments like these.
It is exactly what the movie is about, I think, that we support our people, you know? We love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant, and yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants, and if you don't like that, then you're not American.
And finally, this from the Babylon Bee. Epstein list hangs itself moments before release. And that's what happened while we were away.